Hello there guys and welcome back to my channel for my review of the Chelsea 2 West Ham 0 game, and I'm very pleased with that. I mean, that was just a good game to watch. First half, complete domination. Second half was more end-to-end stuff, really entertaining. We sealed it off. Hazard scored an unbelievable goal in the first half, like actually unbelievable. And yeah, I'm very pleased. What I'm not so pleased about actually is that I'm pretty sure that I broke my small toe earlier, which is pretty painful, so that's not great. But anyway, of course, if you are new here, as usual, please do subscribe to my channel. I would honestly massively appreciate that. Every single new subscriber means a lot to me. Let's keep it growing. You know, we are growing. Let's keep that happening, basically. Leave a like if you do enjoy my content. Leave a like if you do enjoy this video. And of course, you know, by the end of it, leave me all of your thoughts on everything that I mentioned down in the comment section below. But now getting into it. And, you know, I was almost as pleased as can be when I saw the lineup. Like, literally, it was the exact lineup that I asked for, pretty much. Like, yeah, it was the exact lineup that I asked for in my preview to the game. It was perfect. It was perfect, the perfect lineup, in my opinion, for, you know, with the upcoming games in mind as well. Now, obviously, Kepa Arrizabalaga was in goal. It was, of course, in a 4-3-3 formation. The left back was Emerson Palmieri. Still not 100% sure whether Alonso is actually back fit from his hamstring problem that kept him out of the Brighton game last week, or whether he's still out. I don't know for sure. The two centre-backs were again David Luiz and Antonio Rudiger rather than Andreas Christensen. Pretty sure Christensen and probably Rudiger will then, you know, play on Thursday against Prague, so that's why it made sense to me. Azpilicueta was, of course, the right back, and midfield three of Jorginho and N'Golo Kanté, and again Ruben Loftus-Cheek, which was incredible to see. You know, he started 2 Premier League games back to back. That was perfect. And on the left wing, it was, of course, Eden Hazard. On the right wing, it was, again, you know, slightly surprisingly, I didn't actually expect that. I was hoping for it, but I didn't expect that Callum Hudson-Odoi started again, which I was very pleased about. Him and Loftus-Cheek getting 2 back-to-back Premier League starts together. I mean, what can we wish for more? Like, honestly, as Chelsea fans, what can we wish for more? And then up front, it was again Gonzalo Higuain rather than Olivier Giroud this time. Again, like I said, with the upcoming games in mind, Giroud will definitely play on Thursday. And with Higuain not being any good yesterday again, it will probably be Giroud away at Liverpool unless we go with the false 9 and play Hazard up front. If so, you know, we'll have to wait and see about that. But, you know, going into the game, it was good. I mean, it was very similar to the Brighton game overall. I mean, at the start, they just defended very well, but we kept moving the ball around and had some like half chances and stuff, if you will. You know, Kante had a shot that he put just over the bar. Emerson had a free kick that he put a little bit wide. Higuain, actually that happened after we made it 1-0, but Higuain had a decent shot that kind of came off the post and the arm of the goalkeeper. So we had a few chances, but the first half was a bit trickier to create stuff. But eventually, through a very good goal, we did. You know, we did break through them. And that goal by Eden Hazard was actually unbelievable. Like, literally, Loftus-Cheek just rolled him the ball just about in West Ham's half. And then he literally went past about 5 people, and just slotted it in. Like, obviously, past Mark Noble and Declan Rice in midfield was a bit easy because they were quite a way off him. But then he went through literally 3 people with such unbelievably quick changes of direction, really, like going left, right, and then finished with his left foot into the bottom right corner just before the defender was about to tackle him. Whether the guy would have, you know, caught Hazard or whether he would have caught the ball, we don't know. But still, I mean, it was unbelievable. What a goal that was. Then also, in my opinion, clearly we should have had a penalty when Marko Arnautovic, my fellow Austrian, usually I love him, but what are you doing, mate? Just clattered into Hazard. I mean, you know, I like shoulder-to-shoulder stuff, and I don't think it should always be a foul. But only when both players actually go shoulder-to-shoulder and one of them is just stronger. Like, then that shouldn't be a foul, because how is the guy that's stronger, you know, being made to kind of being faulted for being stronger than another guy? That doesn't make sense. But in this case, it was just Hazard trying to run past people, and Arnautovic literally just shoulder barged into him and just pushed him over when the ball was like 2 yards away from Arnautovic, and that was clearly inside the box. But the referee didn't give it. That would have made our afternoon or evening, sorry, obviously, a lot easier. But, you know, that's not what happened. And then in the second half, well, we started off similarly. Ruben Loftus-Cheek got into the game more in the second half. Just grew more confident again a little bit. Similar to the Brighton game. You know, he was just so good on the ball, so much movement, so good at the dribbling, so strong. No one can take the ball off Ruben Loftus-Cheek. It is impossible. Like, he absolutely destroyed Declan Rice yesterday. Absolutely destroyed him. Like, it was ridiculous. But in the second half, we were also more open. Like, West Ham tried a little bit more. They also, themselves, to be fair, they played a little bit better. And I wouldn't say we got sloppy, but we kind of got sloppy with our attacking, and then we kind of got frustrated with our attacking, and then the tracking back started to slow down a little bit. Like, there was this one counter-attack that they had from which West Ham very much could have scored. And literally, we only had 4 players back. We had David Luiz, Rudiger, Azpilicueta, and Jorginho was the only somewhat attacking player that actually tracked back. Of course, Emerson, Hazard, and Ruben Loftus-Cheek were the most furthest player forward when, you know, we were dispossessed from our counter-attack, actually. And then Higuain was obviously somewhere, and then Kante, I don't know exactly where he was, in all honesty, and Hudson-Odoi as well. But, you know, no one came up. Like, by the time we won the ball back, or cleared it for a throw-in anyway, there was still no one but those 4 players, plus the goalkeeper, back to actually help defend. Rudiger absolutely lost his shit, and they were just absolutely, like, way too lazy. And that's kind of what was a little bit the problem in the second half. Sarri said in his post-match press conference as well, kind of had a 10-15 minute period where we just gave control of the game away, and that's exactly what it was. West Ham had a couple of chances, like Kepa made 2 good saves, and you know, Arnautovic had a really good header that Emerson just about deflected wide. I think otherwise that might at least have been on target. I don't think Kepa would have been able to save that, so we were slightly fortunate there. But then, you know, for the last 15 minutes or so, we kind of regained control again. We made a couple of substitutions. Ross Barkley came on for Ruben Loftus-Cheek. Some people in the stadium booing again. When I'm like, do you still not understand his back injury? Like, he missed training on Friday when other people were back in training. Be glad that he managed to play, you know. Be glad that he managed to start again, you know. Be happy about that. Stop crying when he gets subbed off after an hour. Like last year, he was at Palace. You know, we didn't even have him, and now you're crying about him getting subbed off after an hour. A lot of players get subbed off after an hour. It's really not that big a deal. Also, Olivier Giroud came on for Higuain, which gave us a little bit more going forward as well in the end. And then lastly, Callum Hudson-Odoi was replaced by Pedro for like the last 5 or 10 minutes or whatever it was. So, you know, that was good. And like I said, in the last, you know, 10 minutes, we created more, had a few almost moments. Barkley with a low cross, literally across the box, just about didn't get there when he tried to slid in to put it over the line. Giroud with a similar moment. And then Eden Hazard in the last minute of the game, just before injury time, received a lovely, lovely ball by Ross Barkley over the top from the left-hand side where Barkley was to Hazard, you know, just about onside, controlled the ball well, and then just slotted it in past the goalkeeper, and that obviously sealed the game for us because, you know, 1-0 is always a bit dodgy. And then even though there was only injury time left, but you still prefer to take injury time on with 2-0 up rather than 1-0 up. So that was the game. And there are quite a few performances that I do want to highlight because obviously Eden Hazard was unbelievable. And yesterday he showed again why we will miss him so much when he is going to Real Madrid, because he will. I'm very confident of that. Also, Maurizio Sarri's comments after the game, he was like, well, if a player kind of wants to experience new things, it's difficult to stop him. It's difficult to change his mind. But then when asked, did he actually tell you that he wants to leave? Sarri said, no, he didn't. He said he hasn't made his mind up yet, apparently. So I don't really know what the situation. And obviously West Ham fans saying after he made it 1-0, they're like, you know, Eden Hazard, he's off to Madrid or whatever. And then in post-match interview, Hazard himself said like, no, they're wrong. I'm only focused on Chelsea. But of course he's going to say that. He's smart. He knows how to work the English media. When he goes to the Belgian media, that's when he talks a little bit more like, you know, big mouth in a sense. So, you know, that is that. Eden Hazard will leave this summer simply because he's not going to sign a new contract. And, you know, once Real Madrid meet our demanding fee, our, you know, the transfer fee that we're demanding for him, which is apparently £100 million, you know, we will agree to sell him because we're not going to want to just miss out on 100 million and let him go for free next summer. And maybe we've made this calculation that it is kind of worth roughly 100 million to us to keep him for a season if we lose him for free next summer. So if they pay more than that, it is, you know, not worth keeping him, you know, when we have that offer. So maybe that's the calculation, that's the idea of it. I don't know, but that's what I could imagine. I'm not quite sure how keeping him for a season is worth 100 million, but, you know, I don't know what that... I just don't see us turning down such big money. Like, I just cannot see us doing that. Whether we have a transfer ban or not, I just can't see that happening. Also, N'Golo Kanté was unbelievable defensively, particularly, but also going forward, especially in the first half. He drove the ball forward so much. Everything went through him. Like, literally, so much of our play went through him in that first half when he tried to get Callum Hudson-Odoi into play, Higuain, Hazard, Loftus-Cheek as well. You know, he did so much. Yes, he still lacked that kind of final ball here and there in the first half, well, throughout the game. But, you know, it was still an unbelievable performance by him, in my opinion. Loftus-Cheek, like I said, a bit more quiet in the first half, similar to the Brighton game, and then turned it on more in the second half. Obviously, was then subbed off after around an hour or a bit more. Jorginho, again, was class. Not quite as good as passing, I thought, as it was against Brighton, the over-the-top balls and stuff, but still very, very good at commanding performance, good tackling, good interceptions, and just commanding everything. Didn't have any issues with David Luiz or Rudiger. I thought Rudiger, just because he gets a lot of criticism and stick recently, I want to highlight that, in my opinion, it was good. Yes, he sometimes has these dodgy moments on the ball. And yes, he misplaces long balls sometimes, but so does Luiz. Luiz's are just of a higher level, so he tries slightly harder ones than Rudiger does, I guess. But still, you can't, you know, complete every single 40, 50-yard pass. It's impossible. No one can do that. Even Messi can't do that, or Xavi, or whoever. You know, that's not possible. So I thought Rudiger was good, showed a lot of, you know, passion, even though I don't actually like to talk about passion that much, but a lot of determination, leadership, and when that moment that I spoke about earlier, when we just didn't track back for that counter attack, he was literally shouting at everybody, like losing his mind, saying like, "What the hell are you lot doing?" And it was good. Had some good blocks and good tackles as well. So I was happy with him. Hazard, like I said already, unbelievable. Hudson-Odoi had a bit of a quiet one. Like, he didn't get on the ball much in the first half, a bit more than the second half. In the second half, he was barely part of the game. Like, it was a bit strange. Sometimes it felt like people wouldn't pass to him. Sometimes he made the wrong runs. Sometimes he kept the ball for a bit too long. In all honesty, it felt like the game, especially in the second half, was a little bit too quick for him. And that isn't necessarily criticism of him. That's just a simple fact. He's only 18. He's not played that much in the Premier League. He's not played that much at this extremely high level. So that is only natural. Like, that is not necessarily criticism. He played 84 minutes, and those 84 minutes will do wonders for his development, in my opinion, to get used to a higher level of game. So I think it's good. But he wasn't as good as, for example, he was against Brighton, and he wasn't as good as he was in a lot of Europa League games, for example, which kind of, in my opinion, shows you at least why, because Callum Hudson-Odoi without that has improved drastically across the season. And in my opinion, a game like yesterday shows you why a few months ago, maybe he wouldn't have been ready to play these games, because even though he improved so much, in my opinion at least, and also in Sarri's opinion, and he still kind of struggled a little bit yesterday, I wonder how much he would have struggled a few months ago. So maybe it does make sense. Higuain, though, I mean, he was just poor. Like, he didn't make proper sprints even in the first half. It felt like, I'm not sure whether he couldn't because of fitness or whether he just didn't really fancy it. I don't know. He had a couple of, one decent chance that he hit on the post from a very tight angle, although if he had a better touch when controlling that ball by Hazard to him, probably his angle would definitely have been better and he might have scored. And then other moments where he just should have shot straight away. He received a cross by, I think, Kante, and he was literally on the edge of the 6-yard box or just inside it. And instead of heading it and going for goal straight away, he tried to chest it down and then volley it. And he did so really well. Like, he volleyed it well right into the bottom corner. But then somehow, I don't remember which of the West Ham defenders this was, but somehow someone got a block in there and got a leg in there and deflected it wide for a corner. So, it wasn't a bad effort by Higuain, but if he goes for that with his head and he puts it anywhere near the corner, I don't think there's any saving that, and he gets his goal. So I don't really understand. He felt a bit hesitant to shoot, then he was subbed off, and it was a bit better with Giroud, and his hold-up play wasn't great. He had too many misplaced passes. Higuain kind of feels a bit like Morata all over the place again, just not as quick, but better movement. But then at the end of the day, the similar end result of just not scoring. But yeah, I mean, I don't really know what else to say, except that Azpilicueta was the only one that I didn't like all that much. He got beat too many times for my personal preference. His passing, going forward, he was quite decent, but he got beat too many times for me personally. He was in the wrong position here and there as well, which, made him get beat a couple of times more. Maybe he looked a bit tired as well, but, gonna have to play unless we actually start Zappacosta against Prague on Thursday. But generally, I think he was the worst out of a good bunch of players. But, we still had those lazy moments, but there wasn't necessarily individual players being bad. It was just West Ham also being a good team, but they gave us a good game. We struggled, we failed to capitalise in the first half and early in the second half to kill the game off with the 2-0 and the 3-0. We didn't do that, but we held on to 1-0 and then killed it off in the end. So I was happy. Emerson, by the way, again, showing why he's just better than Alonso. He's just a better player and just should play there consistently. But yeah, obviously I am going to Prague tomorrow for the, away game between Chelsea and Slavia Prague. I'm very much looking forward to that. I will vlog the trip. Now, vlogging is my forte. I don't think I've ever edited a vlog, so, I'm not sure when I'll get it out. I might have to talk to Lewis because he obviously knows what he's doing with his vlogs. But yeah, I will try to do that. I will try to vlog the trip, some of the game. I'm not going to be the guy that's stood there, in the ground with the phone in my hand. I don't know. I want to focus on the game a bit more and the chanting and just being with friends, because I'm not lucky enough to be at every game. So I want to enjoy that a little bit more and focus on that more. It's different if you're at every game anyway. Then you can do that here and there and there. And then, it's just not as big a deal. But for me, I might not do that. But there will certainly be a vlog. Not sure I'm going to be able to do a Liverpool preview because, I'm only getting back Friday and whatever. But, obviously then it's Liverpool on Sunday. And yeah, to be honest, that's really it for me. Very happy. We're now into third, even though obviously Arsenal and Spurs have a game in hand over us. And if they do win that game in hand, they go above us again, which will put us fifth. Although level on points with Arsenal, but behind them on goal difference. But still, we are in a good position, especially if we don't lose at Liverpool, let alone if we win. We're in a good position, I think, to make top 4. We're in a good run of form. Hazard is playing unbelievably well. 3 wins on the bounce for the first time since the first 5 games of the season in the Premier League anyway. So yeah, I'm very pleased. So thank you guys for watching. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Drop a like on this video if you did enjoy it. Leave me all of your thoughts on the game down in the comment section below. Who except Hazard stood out for you? Because obviously Hazard was unbelievable yesterday. So yeah, let me know that in the comment section below. And yeah, you know, I'm off to Prague, up the Chelsea, and I'll see you when I see it.